booming voice, I got scared a couple times. Our next speaker, doing project number 7, researcher topic. The speech title is Slowpokes. Tony Probst. Tony Probst has been a Toastmaster since last October. Here's presenting project number 7, researcher topic titled Slowpokes. Give him a big hand.
I'm committed to my computer this evening. Is that for getting the day in? I need it to speech. Yes, please. How many people have driven in the left lane? Okay, Mike, you've driven before. Good. In the left lane, in a 4-lane or 6-lane highway, and somebody's in the left lane, and they're going slower than you want to go, and you can't get around them, and you're frustrated. Probably just about everybody, right? Well, recently, within the last couple weeks, I read an article in the paper that gave me the idea for this speech. Oklahoma is passing a new law about left lane driving. The sign you see, there's 234 of these installed on I-35 and I-40 in Oklahoma now. Anybody seen any yet? Okay, a couple of you. I haven't seen any because I haven't been on this highway recently. That's the new state law.
I didn't see it.
So first, before I get into the new law, this surprised me. Let me explain what the current law is. The current law says that you can drive in the left lane as long as you're not impeding the flow of traffic. Now, I didn't know there was a law in Oklahoma about driving in the left lane. I've been driving left lane all this time. Now, I will tell you though, I don't stay in the left lane. It's a selfish reason though. I don't want to get caught by a policeman speeding. So I always, when I get done passing, I move to the middle or the right lane so that I don't look suspicious, okay? So accidentally, I've been following the law just fine, not knowing that it existed, quite honestly. And this applies to any roadway that has more than one lane going one direction, 2 or more. Oh, I'll also say, I recently went on a road trip on vacation. So we drove from here to Indiana, where I grew up, to visit some relatives and back. I don't do that very often. I hadn't done it in a while. And I was amazed at how many times, I drive kind of fast, by the way, how many times I was driving in the left lane to pass, and right as I get to the traffic ahead of me, within just 100 yards or so, maybe even less, a vehicle or a truck will pull into the left lane, going about 2 or 3 miles faster than the vehicle they're passing. Very frustrating. It probably happened 10 times each way. And sometimes they were big 18-wheelers. 18-wheelers going 65, 70, whatever. The other guy said, I want to go 2 miles an hour faster than he's going. So I'm going to pull out right before this Porsche is coming behind me so that he can't get by me. I don't get it. Very frustrating. Even when my wife drove it happened too. Now, this map shows you the states that already have the new law that's going into effect. And I'll explain what the new law here in just a minute. So there are 29 states, you can't read it there, but there's 29 states, which would be the ones in yellow, that already have the law in place that Oklahoma is getting ready to put into law on November 1st. Right now, we're in this slightly less restrictive list. I think there's 10 of them in that list. And then the rest of them have very weak or no left lane driving laws. So that's where we're at right now. Oklahoma will move from this category to this category with these other 29 states. So what is the new law? guess what? You're not supposed to be driving in the left lane at all, unless you are going to pass another vehicle, or it's so congested that it makes sense for everybody to fill the lanes, okay? So if you like to drive in the left lane continuously, you're breaking the law, starting November 1st. Kind of steep. Now, some things that you're not supposed to do: don't drive in the left lane to prevent others from speeding. That's not your job. The policemen say that's their job, okay? You're also expected to obey the speed limits. Now, if you're in the left lane, you're probably not obeying the speed limit most of the time. Again, that's not your job as a driver, another driver, to get involved in that. That's for the policeman or the highway patrol or whatever. Like I said, it goes into effect November 1st. Tickets are pretty steep, $235 plus court costs. The estimates I've seen online are about $500. So it's a pretty steep fine if you get caught. Now, I'll throw some humor in here. I call this my speech slowpoke for a reason. It's because Georgia called it the slowpoke law. So I thought that was kind of funny. So what prompted this law? I actually emailed this congresswoman. She's one of the sponsors of the bill. Her name's Melanie Blanchett, and she responded actually the same day. My question was, why did you sponsor this law? I'm curious what the real motivation, the reasoning for. She said, because the Department of Public Safety and Transportation, both of those departments in Oklahoma, requested it. Now let me explain why. The first reason she gave was to prevent impeding traffic and bottlenecking, okay? And I'll explain why that's important in a minute. One of the big reasons, and I saw an interview by a law enforcement officer on YouTube, one of the big things that happens when traffic is slowed down in these situations is you get some road rage, okay? You also get people maneuvering to pass, and you get a lot of movement that you don't necessarily see otherwise, okay? And then the other thing, the last thing is making space for law enforcement to get by if they need to get through. So I mentioned I was going to come back to why this is important. The researchers have found that if you're driving 5 miles per hour or slower than the normal traffic flow, you're causing more danger and more probability of accidents than if you're driving 5 miles faster than the traffic flow. So they've researched this. You couple that with the fact that you have less road rage, okay? And I've actually had some road rage towards me recently. I was coming back from Bartlesville not too long ago, and the traffic, there was some construction, so we all had to merge to the right. As I approached it, there was a pickup truck straddling the lanes, probably to let everybody know that there's something coming up, because it wasn't well marked, but you could tell there's something going on. And the other reason was probably so people couldn't go around and cheat, okay? You all know about that, right? Cheating and cutting in the front. So as I approached, I thought, well, he's already blocking half of the lane. I'll just stay in the left lane and slowly move along. I got passed by 5 people honking at me and literally driving through the median in the grass to get around me. Now, what are they going to do? They're going to rush up to the front, and they're going to cut in, right? It's not fair. I was amazed at this. I was like, what the heck? So I actually had seen some of that recently. Conclusion, I do agree with the law as it's intended. I'm a little concerned about how easily it can be to enforce it. It's probably going to be very difficult to enforce. Of course, they can't catch every speeder either. But I think that if you see this happening, a 911 call wouldn't be inappropriate if it's something that's really, really clogging the traffic. And that's kind of my feeling on it. I think it's a good law overall, but it's going to be hard to enforce. Mr. Postmaster.
I I've been to states that have that law, and it just